relations with the Russians through a Russian diplomatic facility. I don't think that's okay. You might think it's okay that an associate of the president made direct contact with the GRU through Guccifer II and WikiLeaks and is considered a hostile intelligence agency. You might think that it's okay a senior campaign official was instructed to reach that associate and find out what that hostile intelligence agency had to say in terms of dirt on his opponent. You might think it's okay that the National Security Advisor designate secretly conferred with a Russian ambassador about undermining U.S. sanctions, and you might think it's okay he lied about it to the FBI. You might say that's all okay. You might say that's just what you need to do to win. But I don't think it's okay. I think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's unpatriotic. And yes, I think it's corrupt and evidence of collusion. Now, I have always said that the question of whether this amounts to proof of conspiracy was another matter. Whether the special counsel could prove beyond a reasonable doubt the proof of that crime would be up to the special counsel, and I would accept his decision, and I do. He's a good and honorable man, and he is a good prosecutor. But I do not think that conduct, criminal or not, is okay. And the day we do think that's okay is the day we will look back and say that is the day America lost its way. And I will tell you one more thing that is apropos of the hearing today. I don't think it's okay that during a presidential campaign, Mr. Trump sought the Kremlin's help to consummate a real estate deal in Moscow that would make him a fortune. According to the special counsel, hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think it's okay that he concealed it from the public. I don't think it's okay that he advocated a new and more favorable policy towards the Russians, even as he was seeking the Russians' help, the Kremlin's help to make money. I don't think it's okay that his attorney lied to our committee. There's a different word for that than collusion, and it's called compromise. And that is the subject of our hearing today. Mr. Ambassador, you are recognized for your opening statement. I will not yield. Mr. Ambassador, you are...
yield because you just made some things about all of us that I think we all should get the opportunity to respond to. If you're going to say we think, you ought to allow us to speak of what we think.
You can use your 5 minutes to speak. You attacked me in your opening statement, and I responded.
I have not had an opportunity to respond at all, especially to your statements of what we think, because no one over here thinks that. No one over here... I mean, you cannot speak for us. You cannot speak for us.
Ms. Turner, you're not recognized. Ambassador McFaul, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ranking Member Nunes and everybody else that's here today. I want to start with some good news. The ideological struggle between communism and capitalism during the Cold War is over. That's the end of my good news. The bad news is that there is a new ideological fight between Putinism in the West, and it's only just begun. And in my estimation, we as a country are underestimating it, and we're not focused enough on it. And that's what I want to address in my brief remarks today. Putin defines this contest as a battle between the decadent, liberal, multilateral West that dominates and is anchored by the United States of America, and what he calls his brand, not my brand, of conservative sovereign values. I define this contest as one between autocracy, corruption, state domination of the economy, and indifference to international rules, laws, and norms versus democracy, rule of law, free markets, and respect for international law. As I wrote in my detailed written remarks with lots of footnotes, forgive me, I am a professor, but I'll only summarize briefly today, Putin uses oligarchs' money and intelligence to wage this battle at home and abroad. To contain and deter Putinism, we must better understand the nature of the threat, and that's why I'm honored to be here today to talk a bit about that. My remarks are divided into three different parts: the evolution of Putin's system of government at home, second, illustration of how Putin seeks to export his ideas and practices abroad, and third, time permitting, a specific focus on Putin's effort to lift sanctions on Russian individuals and companies. Let me go through those three, time permitting. First, Putinism at home.
I think we all in this committee especially know the general contours of it, but let me remind you of just several specifics and trends. First, Putin started right away in 2000 to roll back checks and balances on executive power, focusing first and foremost on controlling the media, understanding quite well how central that is for autocracy, and that's why he's focused on the internationalization of Russian media to export his ideas abroad. Second, after 2 decades of Putin's rule, the Russian regime has become more autocratic over time. Every term that he served, he's now in his 4th term, it's become more autocratic, not less. Third, during this period, the FSB, the Federal Security Service, one of the successor organizations to the KGB, has played a growing role in running both the state and the economy. Russian intelligence officers today play a much greater role in ruling Russia than the KGB ever played during the Soviet Union. Fourth, Putin has used the redistribution of property rights among Russia's oligarchs as a central tool for ruling Russia. Now, of course, it's true that he enriches his friends